Hi everybody, this is Sherry, and I just wanted to show you a card that I made. I showed the image briefly the other day when my heart was beating so fast I couldn't sleep, and so I sat up and I collared her, and I was very excited with how her dress turned out, and because I was scared to death to use the reds, and especially the darker reds, because I know that sometimes they can bleed. And of course I feel like I went over too far with my flowers again because I covered up part of my image, but the image curves in this way, and if I didn't, there would have been like a hole where the paper would have shown, and I didn't think I'd like that either. I'm just a mess, just ignore me. But so I collared her, and I was very happy with how she turned out. I used Stampin' Up! Dimensionals to lift her up, and I used Stampin' Up! Pearls for her earrings. Collared her all with my Copics, and then I left a little edge around. I'll zoom in because I was like, I really was happy with her, and I knew what paper I wanted to use. And I knew that I wanted my reds to try to match that word. Well, you know how when you trim them out, you leave a little bit of an edge. And I was like, oh, that stark white was like driving me nuts. And I was like, what am I going to do? And so I was thinking about getting my inks, my Tim Holtz inks out, and trying to ink around the edge. And then I thought, what if I ruin it? I'm going to be very upset if I ruin it. And my daughter's like, Mom, why don't you take one of your markers and go around it? And I was like, oh, I never thought of that. And I was like, that's why I keep her around, because she's smart. And so I took one of my earth tones, I believe it was E55, and went around the edge because I kind of wanted it to blend in with the background here a little bit. I'll zoom back out. So I went around with that, and that made a big difference. That took that starkness away that was going to absolutely drive me crazy. I used Lost and Found My Mind's Eye Union Square paper, which I got at Hobby Lobby and I've had for a long time. I haven't bought any except for I think one new 6x6 pad in the last couple months, well, in the last like 6 months, because I just haven't found any that I really like. So most of my paper, 6x6 paper collection is really old right now. And so I used the paper from there. This is a Wild Orchid Craft trellis rose, 40 millimeters, which is my absolute total favorite. And then I'm trying to remember if these are trellis roses. I think these are the 25 millimeter trellis roses, and these are all from Wild Orchid Crafts. And then these two on the end here are smaller, and they came from I Am Roses. And then I took my Martha Stewart punch, and you can see it here and here, and then there's a piece of it here, and then there's some kind of peeking out from under the ribbon. And I used it, and I matched, again, tried to match the brown the best I could, the darker browns. And I wanted to put some of that in there to not really act as filler, but kind of make it wider. And so I did that. And then I used my Stampin' Up! It's called Very Vanilla Seam Binding. Guys, I want to find that, what's it called? Hug Snug or Snug Hug or something like that. I want to find it because I know that you can get a big thing of white and you can color it any color you want. And so if anybody knows where I can get that, if you could leave that in the comments below, because this is like the only, I have just pieces that people have given me besides this, and that's all the seam binding I have, and I love the way it looks. And I colored, these were all white, and then my daughter and I mixed this color here for the red, And then this color of brown is an Inkadinkadoo coffee bean color that I've had from a lot. It was on clearance. I'm not even sure if it was Hobby Lobby or Michael's, one of them where I got it. And then I made my goddaughter, I was like, I want one of those bow makers. And she's like, what's a bow maker? And I was like, come here. I said, Aunt Sherry will show you. And I made her stand there with her 2 fingers out, and I made my bow. And I keep having to, I just have to work with it a little bit and still pull it out because it still wants to go back inside of the little things. But that will just, you know, that'll take time. I'll get it all worked out. And then I wrapped the ribbon around and then brought some up here and hooked it down, attached it with little bits, just little teeny spots of glue to hold it, because originally I didn't have it and I thought this looks, you know, again, I felt like I put my flowers too close to my image and I should have pushed it over a little bit. And so I really felt like it needed something in this corner, because this had the word, this had the flowers, this had this pretty flourish, and this had nothing here. So I love the bow, and as soon as I refluff it, I'll like it better. And then I used a dark red cardstock to match, and then I'm going to cut a 5 3/4 by 5 3/4 inch square to go on the inside and in white, so that whoever, you know, I give it to, or whoever gets it or whatever, because I have no idea what I'm going to do with this. That was everybody's question. What are you going to do with that? And I'm like, I don't really know. Because I don't know what I'm going to do with it. But I wanted to color that image so bad. I thought she was so beautiful. And the way her dress, you know, had those ruffles there, I was like, I just wanted to color it. I had to do something. It was just calling to me, but I have no idea what I'm going to do with it now. But I was real happy with how it turned out. And again, for the deep dark color of the red, because we tried, I had used not food coloring, it's the cake icing from where I used to do cakes. And so it gave me a nice red, but I still wanted it darker, and we couldn't really add any more red. And so my daughter used a little bit of her black ink that you use for calligraphy writing, and that darkened the red right up to get me the color that I needed. So I don't know the name of it, but if you are interested and want to know what kind of ink it was, leave a question in the comments below and I'll find out for you and definitely get back to you with the correct name. Sorry guys. When I talk, my heart just can't seem to keep up. But God is good, because my doctor, they called today and they sent out a referral, and they called me back and they wanted to wait till the 20th of next month. And I was like, okay, and because, you know, I assumed they were giving me their earliest appointment. And I think she could, you know, hear the, you know, disappointment in my voice. And she said, oh, did you want something earlier? I'm like, yeah. I was like, no, I'll just stay for the next 20 days, not being able to hardly sleep or breathe, or wondering when my heart, you know, is going to pound out of my chest. And so they moved it up, and I have an appointment next Tuesday, this coming Tuesday. Let me see if I can tell you what the date is. The 29th of April. So if y'all could keep that in your prayers, I would appreciate it. And this is my card. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you get a chance and you want to, leave a comment below. And again, if you want to know about that ink, just let me know and I'll have my daughter get me the name. Thanks for visiting me today, guys, and happy crafting. I love you all. Bye.